Now, I've told you before that guys have sent me things, some really nice ink pens, a money clip, a few other things, it's a sample of their work, and they want to share it with me. So I figured if I get a sample of their work and it looks really good, I'm going to share it with you. And I got this in from Ken Schwartz out of Kings Island, Georgia. Yeah, Ken sent me a little something, and he said, here's the deal. He didn't send me anything. He sent it to management. Yeah. If y'all think that's the best way to suck up, go for it. It really is. This is me. See that? That's me in a younger day. And it is part of a purse hanger. Kind of got this. I don't use the purse. I have a merce, which is a... Never mind. Okay, this sits on the table and holds up a purse. Yeah, and then when she's done with it and you're ready to leave, she picks it up, rolls up into a little ball like that, and drops it in the purse. That's critical. Now, he sent me two of them, and he put my picture on both of them. Don't know what he means by that, but hey, it was a nice gesture. I really do appreciate it. Management's going to add this to her collection of things that she's got from me that kind of hang out there, and, well, it reminds me of her. Yeah, I want to show you a couple of pieces. Okay, now, I was at a club meeting. First time I've been to one of those in over 2 years since that thing. But I went to a club meeting. And I heard a guy in the audience, and he asked about a shiny finish. No, here, I got to back up and get the story right. Otherwise, they'll become looking for me. Okay. The guy said, why doesn't that piece have a nice shiny finish on it? And the guy doing the gallery says, well, the nice shiny finish is not preferred by the upper galleries, so they don't do a shiny finish. Are you doing stuff for upper galleries and I don't know about it? I thought the deal was you would turn wood, make it into art, and give it to your friends and family to show them how much you love them. Isn't that the way it's supposed to go? Is upper end galleries included in your... I didn't think so. Okay. So somebody might have misspoke. But this deal of the soft finish is where it's at. So I went looking. And I found this in my collection. It's got a soft finish on it. See that? And it's been on the table and had fruit in it. See it stands from the fruit? Okay. But this sits in the kitchen. And this is the first piece I've turned. Ever. Wow. 17 years ago. I turned this. No, more than that. 19 years ago I turned this. I'm older than I thought. Man, that's a bummer. Okay, I turned this. This pattern and the guide and all came out of a Wood magazine article about a wood turner, and he described the whole process and how he got into it and all that. And it was really nice. It told you how to lay up that 3-ring section in the middle and put it in there. But the important thing was, and I'll get back to finishes in a minute, he explained that it's got to fit together properly because you can't force it with clamps and ropes and twines and jigs and rigs and all that other stuff to make it go together. He is absolutely right. Just for venturing onto segmented pieces. If you put your segmented pieces together and you put a band of tape around them, and I use that blue painter's tape. I put it down on my, I got one on that. If it don't fit, it don't fit. Adjust the guide and cut a whole nother ring. My deal is, if you cut one for fit and it don't fit, you see if it goes through the round top of that garbage can in your shop and you throw it away. Why? because you don't want to do a piece with pieces that are not properly fit. You don't want to sit there with a block and a sandpaper and all that. Cut something scrappy but hard, make the ring, and when you're sure your template works, then you go to work on a good wood. Now, that's what I did here. I spent more time making sample pieces to see if I could get me, this has got 16 to a ring, if I could get me a good fit. And then when I glued it together, I could actually hold it in place with duct tape or painter's tape. But I put a band on it and strapped it, and I waited about a week, and then I glued them all up, and I waited about a week, and then I turned it. The whole letdown is turning it because everything else takes so much time. Did I really wander that far off course? Yes, I did. So let me get back to it. This has got a soft finish. This has got the early edition of OB Shine Juice. OB Shine Juice. Show you this. This is 1/3 denatured alcohol. They can call it methylated spirits in the other parts of the world. 1/3 boiled linseed oil. That's a product you buy at the grocery store, at the paint store. Don't make it. Buy it and boiled linseed oil. And 1/3 of a clear shellac. Now, it's hard to find clear shellac. And the deal is, it's really not all that clear. But if you can make a 4-pound mix, and if you Google it on your internet right now, 4-pound shellac, it'll give you the instructions on how many scoops to put to what. Don't make a whole lot. You need 4 ounces total, and that'll last you a long time. You put all 3 of these items in a squeeze bottle. I use these. It was here a minute ago. I use these bottles that look like ketchup squeeze bottles that you put on your dining room table. I got the same thing. I get them from Harbor Freight, and I put it in there. And then when I get done squeezing it, I put a mark on it at the level that it is when I finish. Why? Because next time I pick up the bottle, if that alcohol is evaporated and it dropped down a little bit, I'm going to put a little alcohol in it. The shellac won't drop, and neither will the linseed oil, the blow. But the alcohol will go away, so you got to refresh it a little bit. Now, I put the blow on it, shine juice on it, and I buffed it in with a paper towel on a machine. I let it set a couple of days, and I buffed it off. Paper towel. Then I put another coat on. Yada yada, yada yada, yada yada. After 3 coats, when I was buffing it, it was shining like you won't believe. It really had a great luster to it. Really good. But, and I knew it, that was based on the oil and the shellac. And the oil was always going to be there, and the shellac was going to harden up. So it wasn't going to stay shiny, 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 shiny. But I could have improved that with a varnish, a solid coat of shellac, well, pretty much any kind of finish that you'd have in your shop for putting on wood. That's what I would put on it to keep it bright and shiny. That's what I used to do. And a couple of years ago, I ran across a guy. Now, you understand, since I had this stroke, I can't remember names. I think his name was Trout, but I can't be sure. But he was doing a demo in Waco. And he said, I'll show you how to use CA as a finish. I know I've told you this story before, but 6 jaybirds in the front row killed it for everybody else in the audience with, isn't that a lot of waste? Isn't it doing this? And can you shut up and let the guy do his demo? He did a great demo, even with the minute, and he convinced me that I could go home and put a CA finish on something. But I had to pay close attention to what he was talking about. So I came back and I did some pieces. You see the shine on that? Boy, that's got a shine on it, doesn't it? Yeah. Here's the problem with this piece. See that? Yeah, and then we do this. And you see that? Yep, you do. Okay. This had a soft spot running through it. And I put it on a machine and I howled it. Got it all shaped up, wrapped it in a towel, dropped it in a bag of shavings, came back the next morning and Look at that. Got to thinking about it. And it really doesn't look bad. I can squeeze it between centers, spin it back out, sand it about 600, put some color on it, which is a red, and it might come out in a nice looking piece. Except for, where is it? It's there. There. See that? The acne of the wood. Alright. I might get licensed for that. Okay. All right. Here's the deal. When I got all that done, I was trying to decide what to do for a finish. I had spray-on finish. I had Deft lacquer, Deft sealer, a high gloss finish. I had all these pieces and parts. But I had that thing in the back of my mind from Mr. Trout. I'm sure that's his name. Alan Trout, maybe. Some of these things come back to you. It's just like a fog out there. And I decided I'm going to go and try the CA finish. So what I did was leave the piece chucked up between centers, and I put a good coat of sealer on it. What was the sealer? Where is it? It is called Deft. There it is. Do you see it? Lacquer sanding sealer, made by Deft. D-E-F-T. Now, what about that? To me, it's the best sealer I can get my hands on. It's very much like what DeVoe used to put out as DeVoe Wood Sealer. Wonder Wood Sealer. DeVoe Wonder Wood Sealer. We used that when I was in cabinet making for years because it was bulletproof. It was great. So I put a coat of CA on it, a sealer on it, and I buffed it out. Put another coat on it, put another coat on it. The last coat I buffed out off the lathe in my hands, in my lap, with a real fine piece of steel wool. Now I've got to stress that. Off the lathe, in my lap, in my hands, soft steel wool. Why that? Because steel wool spinning on a lathe is a really, really no. Do not do. I don't care if you did it before and it worked. Don't do it again. You're taking a chance. You're going to get hurt. Do I look like a guy who wants to get hurt? No. So do it off the lathe. Buff it out. Not too hard because you don't want to go through the sealer. Then you start the CA. And here's the deal. This is shop towel. I cut off a 2-inch ring. Just that simple. I get a strip like this. Shop towel. Get it at Home Depot. I didn't say the blue place. I said Home Depot. Wide up and make a pad. Just like this. And I show it to you on a lathe, but the lathe is dead and we're working on that. Then I'd put a couple of drops on it. When I say a couple of drops, I had somebody on the phone the other day said, I wanted to go faster, so I used a thicker one. Okay, if you want to go faster, buy a race car. Get out of the wood turning business, because there's nothing fast about the wood turning business. Okay, enough of that. This and a couple of drops of CA. Number one, you want to protect your hands. Put rubber gloves on. Good rubber gloves. Not the ones you steal out the wife's sink. And don't tell her I ever did that. And you do one pass. When I'm saying one pass, the piece is in my lathe. I'm going to spin it about 300 or 400 RPMs. Not 1,000, not 1,500, 300 or 400 RPMs. Got the pad, I'm going to go about that fast. I'm not going to go. No. Look at it. Straight across. Straight across. Straight across. Only one pad, only one time, and then you can refold the pad, and you may get a second use out of it. You may. But if not, you've wasted 1/5 of one sheet of paper towel. Can't afford it? I'll mail you one. Okay. It builds up. It builds up amazingly. But then if you don't have a sealer on right, you'll see some holidays. And I'm not talking holidays like here and here and here and here. I'm talking about holidays here and here and here and here. Because it didn't get to soak in. Or it went in. If you get those holidays, no problem. You can call your mama. It's alright. Steel wool, buff it out. Put another coat of sealer on it. Let it cure up, buff it off, go back to work again. Now you want to say, why would I want to do that? Because you're wanting a fantastic finish. You want to have one that shines like a diamond. You're not going for the upper end echelon galleries, and really I don't believe what that guy said. I mean, you know, it's a personal thing, but nah. If you can't do it, you don't promote it. I haven't seen a whole lot of that kind of finish on that table ever. So, don't worry about it. And when I did do it, the guy said, gee, you can get that by dipping it in glass. Yeah, you can. Don't you want your piece to be the center of attention? Don't you want it to be sitting on a mantle at your mother-in-law's or your sister-in-law's or your daughter-in-law? And people say, wow, look at that. That's what you're looking for. When they say, thank you, this thing is gorgeous. That's what you're looking for. When you know you've done the best work ever, that's what you're looking for. So get out there, give it a try, follow all the rules. By the way, I use the thinnest super glue I can get my hands on. You can't save any time and you don't save any money by using a thick or a medium thick or all this other stuff. I used a thin CA, and it comes from Starbond. All right, I think I've kind of ranted a little bit here. Didn't I? Okay. With that in mind, I'm going to wrap this up. I think Mama's coming to take me to get me some lunch. I like that. And we'll get back together again real soon. I'm Captain Eddie Castellet. Thanks for joining me as we've been out here in the shop making shave-ins. Take care. Be good.